Josh Jacobs, A.J. Dillon, our friends at Bounty bringing you guys here. You guys are officially wingmen this year? What's going on?
My wingman.
We're each other's wingman.
Okay.
It's time for the Super Bowl, and everybody knows you can't have football without wings.
And you can't have wings without Bounty.
This is all true.
Come on, man.
This is very, very true. You can't have a fantasy team this year successfully without Josh Jacobs. Unbelievable year, my friend. Congratulations. I know when we talked to you last year, and, you know, the situation with the Raiders, you weren't sure what was going to go on, and so you go to Green Bay. Unbelievable season this year. Just incredible. I know the season ultimately didn't work out the way you wanted to, but talking about your role in this offense, and just it seemed like, especially down the stretch, they were like, okay, every play, hand it to 8.
Man, I mean, you know, I just try to come in and play my brand of ball. I try to encourage the guys and lead the guys a certain type of way. And any game that I'm in, I try to have some type of mark on the game, you know, try to make a statement or set the tone or whatever. So I just happen to do that this year.
Yep. AJ, obviously you weren't able to get out in the field, but how's the rehab process gone? How's your neck, and how you feeling going into next season?
Feeling good, man. Down in Florida for a little bit, getting some warm weather. It was snowing today in Green Bay, so down there getting back, excited for year 6.
Okay.
I am sure. Here's my question for you. All right, so this is a question actually for A.J. Dillon.
Okay.
So I don't know if people know this, but A.J. Dillon's a big fantasy football player. Plays in a lot of leagues.
Yes.
You and I once slid into your DMs because we were talking about trying to do a league together because you tweeted at me and we went back and forth. So here's my question for you, A.J. Josh Jacobs led the NFL in touches, rushing yards, and scrimmage yards. He was first-team All-Pro back in 2022. He's had over 1,100 scrimmage yards in all 6 seasons. Averaged 17.2 fantasy points per game this season, 15 rushing touchdowns, top 4 in the NFL. Did you have Josh on your fantasy teams this year?
He was gone before I got him.
Oh, no.
I had pick 8. He was already gone.
Oh, man.
That makes sense. And they wouldn't even do it. You're like, that's my guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going into next year, Josh is going to be a top 1, 2, 3 pick, so you got to have an early draft.
There's no question. I can't believe they screwed you. Who else was on your team this year, your fantasy team?
I had a couple Packer guys. I had Jay Reed on there. Jay Reed I was able to get. You know, I did have Jamar Chase.
That worked out.
It worked out. He had a great year.
He did. He had the triple crown.
Do you go into drafts with any specific strategy, like you go 0 wide receiver, load up on running backs?
I know ball. So I know ball. I don't have the big book in front of me. I just kind of like look who's available and just kind of go from there.
All right, Josh is going to be a top 4 pick for you next year. You said
top 3.
Top 3, fair enough. Top 3. Where's A.J. Dillon go next year?
Hey, all I know is going to be a good year, wherever that is. So wherever you pick me up in the draft, I'll get more points next year than I did this year.
As a betting man, that's a very good bet to make. Josh, first year on a new team after being at the Raiders your whole career, like how was the adjustment period? Did you feel like second half of the season you're really hitting your stride as you got more familiar with everything?
For me, man, coming in like OTAs and camp, it was definitely different, but it was just work at that point, you know, like putting the work in. So we were still at the ground stages. I felt like when the season started, I felt like the team had to really get used to like who I am and like you know, like what do I bring or what do I do well or what I don't do well and things like that. So I think that once we figured that out, it was kind of like, you know, a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it did seem like there was a little bit of an adjustment period, but over the second half of the year, not only were they leaning on you, but also they were starting to throwing you the ball. I felt like they got away from that in Las Vegas, I guess, with the Raiders. Like that was a part of your game early in your career.
Yeah.
And then they just got away from it. And it was great to see you being used in the passing game. Was that something you talked with Coach LaFleur and the staff about?
It's something that I definitely talked to Jordan about. I'm like, man, when you in doubt, I'm always there, man. Hit me. You know what I'm saying? I'll make a play. And then it just happened to work out this year where a lot of the times where he'll check it down and I'll make a guy miss and they just go for a big gain. So it's been good.
AJ, you've been there for, I believe, the whole Matt LaFleur era. Matt LaFleur is obviously thought of as this, you know, incredible offensive mind. Is there anything specific about him that makes him so unique, and how has he kind of changed over the time you've been there?
Yeah, I think you know, I think he's a great X's and O's guy. Yep. Like I think he's surgical, for lack of better words, when it comes to like drawing up a play for the offense and schemes like that. he has that ability to just kind of see the field and put guys in the best spots for them. So I think that's like what kind of separates him so far in his coaching career. I think I got there maybe his second year on the Packers, 2020. So I think he's definitely got more comfortable with the team, like, you know, as a new coach, and he's a younger coach too. So like, I can definitely see like he's really gotten real comfortable in there in the organization for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Josh, you made news yesterday, you know, where you said you love your guys, but you really feel like the Packers need a number one wide receiver. Yeah. And I know, and that probably took off in a way that you didn't expect. Yeah. I'm curious if you wanted to address that at all.
Yeah, I'll address it. I mean, them guys in that room know that, you know, that I love them, that I mean no disrespect to the guys that we have in that building. I would never disrespect the guys' ability, especially when I see, you know, the type of work that they put in. But also, man, people got to understand, Christian Watson got hurt at the end of the year. Yep. We won't have him until week 13, week 14. Realistically, that's a spot that we're going to have to either draft a guy or get a guy to pick up. You know, I do believe in all those guys that we have in the building, you know, they talent and things like that. But I do believe personally that you need a vet to kind of just help figure it all out, put all the pieces together. I think that all them guys have the potential to be special. I think that they will be eventually. But I think that they just need a little push, a guy that's been around, that's done it a little bit, and that can give little nuggets here and there to just help them elevate their game.
So then I'm going to ask you the same question, AJ. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Josh? Do you guys feel like you need a number one?
Yeah, man, I agree with Josh.
Because you know ball.
I do know ball. I agree with Josh, man. I think those guys in that room, like you said, they're very talented. You got a lot of younger guys, and I think something about them, I think you put somebody like that in a room, like a proven guy, I think it just elevates everybody. I think, like, those guys you think about that we have in that room, they're going to see somebody out there working, competing. Hey, I've been to a Pro Bowl or two, or however many Pro Bowls. I'm this guy. I'm an established vet. Like, all right, how do I get to this level? And then you might have an entire we might have an entire unit of just guys playing lights out. And so I hear what Josh is saying. Like, no disrespect. It's just, let's keep elevating. Obviously, we didn't get to that Super Bowl. We're not here playing right now. Yeah. So how do we get to that next level? How can we keep, you know, adding people and keep establishing dominance?
And it all feeds on itself, obviously. The better the passing game is, the more it opens up the run game, and vice versa. The better run game's going, it's going to open up for the pass game. So obviously, you want a balanced offense here. There's a special running back in the game this Sunday in terms of Saquon. Kareem's had a really good career as well. I'm curious how you guys see Sunday playing out, especially from the running back position.
I think that they got to feed Saquon. Obviously, he's the focal point. I mean, if I'm KC, I'm looking at stopping him first and making all the other guys make plays and figuring it out after that. But me personally, I'm never betting against Mahomes. I've seen him enough in my career to know that and to understand that. But also, I have a lot of guys that I played ball with in college, you know, on the other side, and I want them to get a ring. You know, I'm rooting for them. So, however it play out, it's just hard to bet against Mahomes.
Yeah.
Is that who you think wins? Do you think Kansas City wins?
I think KC wins.
Yeah.
AJ?
Yeah. You can't bet against Mahomes, man.
That's how I feel. I feel as well.
Good to get out of the AFC West and have to see Mahomes. So the NFC North is pretty tough as well. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on. Josh, awesome year. AJ, looking forward to seeing you get out there next season. And good luck to the Packers in 2025.
And thank you to Bounty for making you guys available to us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.